estamos aquí
¿cómo
en
están?
casa. Estamos cocinando unos, ¿qué son?
Los steaks, unos ribeyes.
Con broccolini, mashed potato, and some, what are they?
Red Lobster biscuits.
Yeah. So we found them in Costco, so we're going to try them out. We've never tried them
Yeah, it's the
before.
first time trying them out.
Yeah, it's the first time. So then we'll just see how that goes. Oh, actually, I need to put them already. So here it is. So give me a moment.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys are having a warm summer day.
Jeez.
Enjoying the time with the family. And even though it was not a strong storm or nothing crazy happened in the city like they said it was, I think it's a huge blessing. It gives you time to spend quality time with your family, with your kids, with your loved ones, with your wife, your husband, and enjoy the quality time.
Yeah, definitely. So, y'all know us. No scripts, no lights, no nothing. Just simply us. When we have time, we'll make a video like this. So, it's been coming up a lot about a subject that I told Jonathan that it's so important. Like, it's so valuable, especially in our faith as Catholics. You know that most of the times, I don't know how many of y'all have ever felt like it's a burden to go to church. It's a burden to pray, to do personal prayer, to do the rosary, to do anything. It just feels like, oh, like I have to do that. Like, oh, and sometimes we don't realize that we feel like that because we have not yet have an encounter with God, with Jesus Christ. O sea, no hemos tenido ese encuentro con Él que en verdad nos ha marcado, que nos ha cambiado la vida para nosotros decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo voy a ir a misa, I'm going to go pray, I'm going to continue to do what I do in my faith because of love, because I love Him, because of devotion, because I know why I'm doing this and what is it for, so that's key right there.
100%. And the biggest reason for that is because whenever you have an encounter with God and you feel the Holy Spirit, you desire that more. Yeah. You desire to be more in God's presence. You desire to learn more. It's not a burden no more, right?
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying it's easy after that.
Oh yeah.
But it's a different purpose now. Before your encounter, it's more like you're forced to it. You're like, oh, why am I doing this? Or even if you don't say it, you're probably thinking it. And it's more like of a routine instead of a purposeful meaning as why you're going to church or why you're doing what you're doing. So the biggest thing that we're talking about is extremely important to have an encounter first before, well, not first or before, but it's important to have an encounter at some point so that way you can have a bigger purpose of why
and I mean,
understanding of why you're going to church.
One of the things that we can do, it's put ourselves in environments that can help us have an encounter with God. Sometimes you're gonna have an encounter with God in your own home. You don't know that. I had an encounter with God in a dream that I had, and a couple of them, and I've had encounters with God as well in retreats in the church. So it really, it's about putting yourself in a position so you can have an encounter, praying. Sometimes if we don't feel like doing that, do it. Because remember that the enemy is always aiming for you not to do that. And, praying, going to El Santísimo, going to Mass, praying the Rosary. Even sometimes when you don't feel anything, we should do it. Because all of those little actions in place, trust me, it will bring something amazing. The reason why I say that is because 4 years ago, whenever me and my husband, we moved into this house, we had King, and my husband he had recently got diagnosed with a condition in his muscles. And one of the things that I was personally going through as a mother, as a new mom, as a wife, as a caregiver, was asking myself a lot, why am I going through this? Why do I have to go through this? And it was a very, very rough situation because I was so mad at not myself, but just simply the situation itself. And I was so mad, and we were going through a lot of different little things in our relationship as well, that I kept questioning God. And, you know, unfortunately, yeah, I was mad and I shouldn't have done that, right? But he answered me through prayer. We started praying the rosary. We tried aiming, praying for it like almost every day. And one night at 3 in the morning, I woke up and I prayed the rosary. And after that, I went back to sleep. And I had a dream. I had like a vision. And it was, I don't know how many of you have ever had that happen to you, but it was very, very different, you know. I can talk about my vision in another video, but what I'm saying is that if it wasn't because of that prayer, if it wasn't because I was putting myself in positions that I can have an encounter with him, that encounter literally changed the rest of my life. Now, I don't do things because I want applause or I want attention, I want validation, or because I have to do it as a Catholic, or I have to go to church. Guys, back then, remember, Jonathan, when we used to live in the high rise? We're like, oh, we have to go to church and stuff. That's how we would feel, to be honest with you.
And the church was right next door.
And the church was right next door to us. And we're like, oh, like, I kind of feel like a burden, like, oh, I have to do that. But then now, it's like, we don't even think about it. We automatically know that we go to church because we want to go and take the Eucharist, have the Eucharist, the more times possible, you know? So, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, you get to a point in life where you just have to be tired of the same thing, of the worldly things. And I say that for myself because I remember I was like, I just had, God put this deep desire and hunger. It's like, you know, I need more of life.
Yeah.
And I remember I was seeking and I was going to different churches and I was going to different places and trying to seek God and just change and become a better person, right? Mm-hmm. Stop smoking, stop my drug addiction, stop the gangs, stop, you know, selling, you know, illegal substances and all of that. And I just wanted to become a better person. And I had such a deep desire to change. And I was seeking for God, right? I was always looking for him. But then I realized he was always there for me. He was always there protecting me. He was always there guiding me. He was always there, you know, helping me through every single thing. I was just too blind. I was just not spiritually aware to understand that he was there the whole time for me, right? So just keep having that hunger, have that willingness to change, and when you seek God, he's gonna open the doors, put the people, the right situations, the right environments for that to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the best part about this is that our life is a whole testimony of God's grace and how much he has changed our life. And that's why for us, it's like even sharing all of these testimonies in our social media and stuff. Well, me personally, I don't feel like it's a burden or anything. I want to because he has done so much within our life that it's just like, oh, I know I'm in the front of the camera. But right here. But yeah, guys, anyways, so this year, you know, let's make the goal. Let's do a goal that as a community, you know, as Catholics, and even if you're not a Catholic and you still see our stuff, King, calm down. You know, you can definitely put yourself in positions where we can have an encounter with God, you know. And if you still have not yet gone to Mass, if you're probably Catholic that you've been away from your faith, hey, don't worry, we've all been there. But guess what? God gives us an opportunity every single day for us to start all over again. So you can look around your area, you know, a church that you would like to join or would like to go. And the most important thing as well, whenever we start going to Mass, is to start building a, Belen, no, what's it called? Like fellowship, I would say, you know. Build a community, know the community, network there with the people, get to know people in the church, because that's going to also help you build a community where you can feel even more welcome, where you can feel more questions, whatever you have going on. Even with the priest, you can become friends with the priest. But yeah, so let's make that purpose, guys. We're excited to keep growing as a community. within our faith, our marriage, our family, with our kids.